On today's podcast, we'll talk about shooting for the edit, working with the boom operator, Saltburn, No Time to Die, and of course, learning in the great castles of Europe. Just a little bit of business before we start. There may be a curse word here or there in this episode, so please listen responsibly. As always, our website, theop.io, is up and chock full of tips, tricks, and gooey operator goodness. Make sure to check out The Breakdown, where the best operators in the biz explain shots they have done, The Musings, where we discuss everything from quick tips to larger concepts of storytelling, the answers, the images, and so much more. I may or I may not take a break or two during this episode, but I promise that none of them will be longer than 22 seconds. Finally, if you are enjoying the podcast, please follow us, write a review, share us with your parents, and talk us up around the water cooler with your friends. So grab a beverage, sit back, and enjoy the op. Thanks for listening.
Lock it up, nice and quiet, and let's roll.
Rolling. Victor 30 Echo, take 2.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark.
And camera set. And action.
Hello and welcome back to the Op Podcast, the podcast where we talk about operating and the art of visual storytelling. I'm Dave Comides, your host, and coming to you from England, where I am very excited to speak with Ossie McLean. Did I say that right?
You did, Dave, yeah.
I got it right.
Got it right.
A great A-camera Steadicam operator. A couple of things that he has done, but by no means everything. Batgirl, which apparently nobody will ever see because I guess it's not coming out, which is too bad.
You'd want to mention first.
Sorry. Well, it's the most recent. Saltburn, Tetris, No Time to Die, Johnny English Strikes Again, just because Rowan Atkinson is the best. Matilda, Antlers, a ton of other things. He has been nominated for his work by the BSC for No Time to Die and Outlander, and he won last year, I think, for Saltburn.
That's right.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
You too.
So how'd you get here? What's your story?
How did he get here tonight?
Yeah, actually, it's worth mentioning that you worked how many hours today?
I left home. When did I leave? Well, home. I left my home
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
No, well, I live in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
So, but I have a little place here.
Yeah.
Just in the west of side of London for when I'm here at work.
Okay.
I travel backwards and forwards
Yeah,
weekends.
sure.
So when did I leave this morning? 6:15.
And then he was
This
kind
morning?
enough to work all day
So,
and then come here
yeah.
to do this.
Well,
So.
it's not too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
8 o'clock or something.
But still, thank you.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's your story? How'd you get into operating and Steadicam and everything?
Well, I guess, I started way back when I was at school. I started photography was my first interest,
Oh, yeah.
which
Alright.
came through a teacher at school who had a photography class and taught us how to develop our own prints and take photos and things like that. And I really enjoyed it.
That's really cool.
And from there, after school, I studied photography for a couple of years. Spent a couple of years in a darkroom. Started to not enjoy that because on my own in the dark making prints. And I wasn't at that point. It's still pretty young. I wasn't, really sure where that was going.
Wait, how old? This is college or?
So I would have
university?
been 20,
Okay,
19,
Gotcha. Yeah.
18, 19, 20, round about
But
that.
so you were enjoying the framing of the
Yeah,
big
I was
pictures
loving it.
thing.
Yeah. And but as a result, I decided I'd like to spend a bit of time with other people. So I applied and went to film school.
Okay.
So I went to Bournemouth Film School, south of England.
In England.
South of England, yeah. So studied at film school, left film school, and realised that I didn't really know anything.
Ouch. How many years?
Not
How many
really.
years did it take
So
to not know anything?
So I had a couple of years studying photography. I had to do 2 or 3 years. 2 years at film school or 3 years? 2 years, I think, at film school.
Okay.
And then realised because I got while I was at film school, teach how to load cameras and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I had a friend whose sister was a clapper loader, a second AC.
Okay. Was that like the only person you knew in the film industry, or?
Yeah,
Or
what
like-
kind of was, yeah.
Yeah,
And his
yeah.
sister, he said, my sister needs a bit of someone to cover for 5 days. Could you do it? I was like, yeah, of course I can do it. Are you kidding? I know how to load mags.
On a
I can
movie
do
or-
that.
or what?
TV, a TV
okay.
show. I was like, sure, I can do it. Turned up and wow, that was an eye opener.
Wait, so, clearly this wasn't a union thing.
It wasn't
Okay,
it wasn't,
so-
yeah. But
alright.
still, it was a BBC comedy drama kind of
Okay.
thing, shot on 16mm.
And you're the only
16.
loader?
And I was the only one there covering, and the focus puller who was quite experienced. He spotted me in the first 5 minutes. This guy was this guy, and somehow I managed to bumble through the 5 days.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
did the cover and
Were you just
it
petrified
was
the
all-
whole time?
Well, yeah, I just realised I didn't really know what was going on. Like what the set etiquette and the
Yeah.
organisation and where things go, and just what was expected of me.
Sure.
In that particular role, because that film school, they kind of teaching you about lighting and all the kind of different roles and
Not
what's
the real
going
stuff,
on, and not the
Do you remember
nitty
do you
gritty.
remember one specific thing that you learned pretty quickly, or anything?
Yeah, how to put marks down for
Oh,
the
yeah.
focus puller,
Okay.
properly.
Yeah. Well,
What was expected of the,
So
when
did
the
you
actors
go
are
ahead
in.
and do it, and they went, no, not like that. Do
He
it
was
this way,"
like,
or-
no, you had do this, do that, do this. I was like, oh shit, okay.
But it is the kind of thing. It's funny, if you never knew, why would you know? I mean,
Well, how would you know?
how
Yeah,
would
unless you knew in the
Yeah.
in the real world. So that kind of gave me an understanding that as much as film school were telling you could go out there and be a cameraman and as soon as you light your own stuff, I realized quickly that I when I looked around me, I thought, oh, I really don't know what's going on here. In a general
in 5
sense,
minutes.
yeah. So that's when I decided, well, I kind of like the feel of this, but I need to learn. So I thought I want to be a trainee to start with, and then, I mean, tell me this is too long a story. Off the back of that, I was back home and couldn't find any work. Back then, it was writing letters to people. There was no email.
Looking for
work.
training or whatever.
Trying to find work. It was trying to call people, and you had to write letters.
This was 90s? Or?
Yeah, 90s. So 94,
Wow.
95, something like that.
Pre-internet.
Yeah, pre-internet.
much, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got a phone call from the film school that said, there's a production company been in touch and they're looking for a trainee stroke kind of second AC that could maybe be trainee and then maybe step up, and I was like, where did this come from? He said, oh, someone that knew the film school or who had been at the film school, and she was now working as a production manager for this company. I was like, well, that sounds cool. Where they're based in Amsterdam in the Netherlands.
And you're in Scotland.
Okay, and I was in Scotland at this point, But being so young, I was like, that sounds exciting. So they flew me over for an interview.
Wow.
Yeah, which I was like, what? Like, where's this come from? So they flew me over for an interview, and then cut a few weeks later, they offered me a job on like a monthly contract.
That's amazing.
But the first job they were doing was called Great Castles of Europe. So these were shows for the Discovery Channel.
Okay. All right, so travel.
And it
type
was
stuff.
travel, yeah. So they were kind of docudramas, a bit of reconstruction in there.
Okay.
That was kind of thing, and it's about the history of the castles in Europe. And the focus puller we had, a Dutch guy, but he'd done quite a bit of drama as well, so he was able to teach me.
Oh, that's great.
Quite a lot. So
it's also probably not high pressure situation.
Yeah, I mean the crew. There was 6 or 8 of us.
Did you just travel around Europe?
Traveled all around Europe.
Great gig.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
Seeing cool castles.
Seeing cool castles and going to go places you never get to go, especially when you're so young. So that was amazing. And then the next year they called me up and said, "Can you be the second AC on the next series?" Sure, what's that? And they said, it's Great Palaces of the World.
Oh my God.
So
good Lord, that's fantastic.
Okay, I'm in.
Wow.
So travel around the world, off we go.
How long did you do
16
that
milk.
for?
So that last series lasted for a year to work. I mean, not constantly, but you'd be away for 2 or 3 weeks, you'd come back for 2 or 3 weeks, and a bit of prep, and then away again.
That's amazing.
So when you were young and getting to travel the world, it was amazing, and we were shooting it all on film, and the stuff in Europe, or the stuff closer by to Europe, we'd had this little van that we'd packed with lights, camera equipment, and a little dolly and track and everything we'd get in. So it was, that's about the fittest I've ever been, especially doing Great Castles of Europe, humping equipment upstairs,
up stone steps and whatnot.
Up and down.
Oh, that's good. That's a good thing to do when you're young.
Yeah, it was good. I wouldn't like to do that now.
That's great.
And then with the experience I had, I gained a bit of confidence in things, and I'm sort of bit of work. I managed to pick up some commercials back home and pop videos and things like that, and working as a second. And then I quickly thought, well, the second thing is good. I thought, I kind of didn't want to get stuck doing that, so I quickly kind of moved up to being a first AC.
Okay.
Chris Puller. So then I did a couple of years just commercials and then TV drama.
Yeah.
But back then it was pretty tough finding work because, I guess by then you're late 90s, and so back here in the UK you have a few films that would shoot, but you could never get into films. That was like an untouchable thing because they'd only make a few films in a year.
So all the top tier people
took those.
Yeah.
And then you would have BBC dramas, ITV dramas, Channel 4 drama. That was it. There's no streamers, there's no Netflix, Amazon, Disney, blah, blah, blah.
Everybody forgets about it. Oh yeah, and you only have a couple of channels here. We have a little bit more in the
That's
US,
right.
but,
We had 3 channels that made TV shows. TV drama. So it was hard finding, it was hard finding the work and the continuity of work.
Yeah.
So I worked as a first AC for maybe 5 or 6 years. And I had always in the back of my mind, because of the photography side of it and being at film school and the lighting and things, that I wanted to get into, lighting would be the thing. So I started to try and give that a shot, and do low budget films, low budget promos.
As a DP.
As a DP, operating and lighting thing. But I just found that all the low budget stuff just brought more low budget work. And you just got into this hole. And then anybody that did low budget work for, like the director who had success off the back of the work that you did, they would spring, up the ladder, but they wouldn't take you with you because they were told, oh, you need to get an experienced guy, and you were left. So I was like, geez, this sucks. Yep. It was pretty tough going. And then also the thing around about that time was there was a proliferation of what we called in Europe as lighting cameramen who would light and operate. It didn't so much have a DPs and operators, especially in TV shows. Didn't really happen too much. But then things started to change a little, and then I got asked to do, could you operate on this? Could you do a bit on that? And I started to pick up more operating work. And I thought, well, that's quite enjoy it. This is an enjoyable role. And then the lighting cameraman started to drop away a little, and the DP started, using operators more, and things picked up. And by that point, no, I hadn't touched the Steadicam. So for a while, for the first probably 8-9 years of operating or something.
Just straight conventional.
So just conventional, yeah. And Steadicam here certainly wasn't. It's not like it is now.
Yeah.
You just have someone come in as like a day player, do a Steadicam shot, and then go home.
Yep.
It's a totally different dynamic than what it is now.
Yeah.
But then I went for an interview for a job, to do a B camera job as an operator, and they were like, cool, yeah, great, we'd like you to do the job, and do you use Steadicam? And no. And they were, oh, we need someone that can do that. That's what we need. Oh, jeez, right, okay. So that was like the penny dropped. I thought, I need to learn how to do this because things are changing.
Was it something you were interested in anyway, or you just were like...
Well, it's funny, back in film school I was interested in it back then. And but because of the lighting thing, I thought I don't need to learn how to do that, because I thought maybe the lighting will take me in a different route. And then that didn't happen, and then I started operating, and then that happened, that interview, and I thought, right, I need to learn how to do this.
So did you go take courses, or?
I didn't actually. I mean, I'd been around Steadicam quite a bit just at work as a second and a first AC. Yeah. And I kind of taught myself how to do it, which is a bit, I don't know, it's not necessarily the recommended thing to do.
The proof is in the pudding. Your stuff is great. Something worked right. But did you just go out and buy a rig, or? Pretty
much, yeah. I rented a rig to begin with. Rented a rig to practice, and then I realised that this isn't working. I need to buy my own rig and wear that thing as much as I can and practice when I could. As we all know, that is, the more you wear it, the better. The better you'll get. So you're forever learning. with that thing.
There's
always.
no question about it. Yeah.
So that was I bought a rig and managed to do some low budget work with it. You're not going to stay. Everyone's probably the same route. The usual
Well,
stuff.
the thing always for me was it was like you wanted to get on something where they were just happy to have you. They were probably paying you nothing, and like you kind of couldn't screw up.
Yeah, they were
and
great.
That way you could screw up without getting in trouble.
That's exactly right, and that would be something for people to bear that in mind. Don't try and step on a proper film set unless you're 100% ready, because you will be found out within the first 5 seconds.
Especially now, because back then there weren't that many people, right? So sometimes they had to go, well, you may not be the best, but at least you're something. But now there's so many good people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the standard's so high
on all levels. So how long did it take you till you could go on a set and go, I can do what they throw at me? That you felt comfortable with it.
Question. It probably took me, I think, a couple of years anyway, at least a couple of years. And then, walked on was doing a show where there was loads of Steadicam, and we were shooting 2 cameras all the time, and we alternated. The A camera and B camera operators would alternate, so you could, I knew I could throw in a Steadicam shot here that I knew I could, might be difficult to do, but I could do it. And if part of it worked great and it was part of it didn't, they didn't mind so much because the A camera was already set up getting the main shot. So I knew there was a lot of Steadicam on the show, and it was like another means
of. But at the end of the show, you'd be solid.
Yeah, because you were wearing the thing like every day after day after day after day, and like we just said, there's no substitute for that.
No, there isn't, and it's just it's muscle memory, and also there's that whole thing of like just figuring out what it did and what
that's right.
My thing was music videos, just low budget music videos. And nobody really cared what you did as long as you did something fun.
You did something.
And I didn't even know it at the time, but I was learning, okay, if you put this much this much pressure into it, it does this, or you can stop it this quickly, or you can whip pan or whatever.
Yeah.
But those were the ways to do it. There's no question.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's looking, sort of.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And so, do you think it helped you that you started out as a conventional operator and then went to Steadicam?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think it definitely did, because you're learning the trade as an operator, and the Steadicam is just another tool.
It's just another tool.
I just see it as a tool that you can use for the right time, the right place, and you can do it. So it definitely did help. Yeah.
So were you basically doing like B camera, Steadicam for a while? First?
B camera, Steadicam, or trying to get exactly.
Yeah. And when did you start becoming an A camera operator? Like how long did that take?
Well, I guess when we did Outlander, when that. I mean, I did a show before that I was the A camera on another sort of smaller TV thing, and when Outlander, when I was shot in Scotland, where I'm from, so it was a great opportunity for lots of people back then, which I think now was probably about when it started. When would that be? About 12 years ago. Okay. Probably.
So how long have you been operating? I mean, anything at that point?
So I think my first proper operating gig, like on a TV show, was about 2001 or 2002 probably. I think I did a 6-part thing as an A camera operator.
Okay.
So, and by then that was then 2012.
So 10, 11 years or so. Okay.
Yeah. So so I think Outlander was a great show to come to Scotland, because there's a lot of money for a show to have spent. In that area at the time, and it was busy. We did a lot of work and a lot of hard work on that.
That's gotta be cool to have a hometown show, though. Were you near where you live?
Yeah, absolutely. It was near.
And it's rare for something to shoot in Scotland?
Well, not now.
Oh,
not now. Yeah, it kind of was more. They'd always have smaller TV shows, but now
there must be tax incentives now.
Well, there is for the whole of the UK, but but Scotland has been very busy with TV and streaming shows over the last few years now. It's really it's really picked up. Yeah. Try to remember what the original question was.
No, I was asking you about moving up to A camera.
Moving up to A camera.
Yeah, and how long you'd been? I think you said 11 or 12 years. 10 or 11 years.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I did, fortunately, a cameraman that I worked with Ali Walker, a Scottish cameraman who kind of, when we first started out, we do small commercials together and things, and he done very well for himself, and he gave me a break as an operator. That was in 2002. That was my first sort of break as
a B camera operator.
Well, actually as an A camera operator. I think it was like a single camera show. I mean, back then the TV shows we were doing, they didn't really have two cameras.
Yeah,
they were like one
sort of a later thing.
It was just a one camera show, so he gave me a break, and that kind of gave me a break. But then, I went on other shows and did B camera, but like I was saying, it was hard finding the work. It just wasn't there, so you pick up whatever.
So that was really your first A camera gig. I mean, other than a day here or a day there.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember having to sort of, make that jump from B camera mentality to A camera mentality, where you're much more in the mix and having to help run the set and make sure everything's moving?
Yeah, I mean, certainly on that first job that was the case, but then, because there wasn't like the plethora of work that there is now, it was almost some of the jobs are like a backwards step from that. You have to then go on and do B camera and do dailies and do second unit work and things like that. So after that, it was, I mean, I trying to think specific. I mean, as the time goes on, you sort of learn all this information and pick it all up. It wasn't just like suddenly, okay, I know what it is, because
it's over time.
Been around just over time.
When you were doing B camera, were you watching what the A camera operator was doing?
Absolutely. Always, figuring out, listening, and they're older and more experienced guys, and asking them questions and just watching and listening. And I guess that's, if you're comfortable in the job that you're doing, then you can afford the time. You have the space, the brain space, to be looking at what other people are doing and watching and picking it up.
Yeah.
But
you're not worried about your job.
You're not worried about your job. Once you can do that without thinking about it, you can concentrate on the next.
So as a B camera operator, if you weren't working, were you sitting by the monitor or?
Yeah, I'd never miss a shot. Even now, I mean, even if you look, work I've done in the last not so many years, I've done quite a few B camera jobs as well.
Oh, you still go back and forth a little bit?
I have done a bit, yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't do it much, but I sort of like doing B camera.
Quite good, yeah.
Because it's kind of like everybody's looking over there, and you can find these really cool pieces.
Exactly. You can find some great shots and stuff that people maybe haven't seen, or you can. But I do like it, and to be good at it is a very particular skill.
There's no question.
And I think to be good at it, like we were saying, if you've worked as an A camera operator as well, you can understand what's going on the floor. And what's expected of the A camera, what's going on in the scene, what's needed and what's required, and you can look and think, okay, I can get this here, or I can do this. Or my aim is always to try and find a shot that's as good as the A camera shot, if not better. Without upstaging. I mean, upstaging anyway. You're looking for, or sometimes you're looking just for a particular moment.
Sure.
So
where like it's 90% doesn't work, but that 10% that 10 does work,
is great. And
grab a look or something.
So like as a result, I would watch, be on set all the time, watching, standing by, looking at the shots. I'd never miss a shot, because you get called in, can you do this? You need to understand what side of the line are you from? Or who are you shooting? What the hell is it you're doing? So I could never sit on a truck, people that sit on trucks and then bring the camera,
Yeah, and then so what are we doing? Where are we doing?
What are we doing? But like you said, it's quite an enjoyable. It can be enjoyable. It's a different role. But to be good at it, it still is a lot of skill involved. With it.
I'll tell you, my favorite B camera operators that I work with are the people who, I'll set up some Steadicam shot where, I'm coming off of a helicopter and into a thing and this and that and the other, and then they've just found one perfect place, and I look at that and I go, that's so much better than what I'm doing. It actually makes me happy, because I'm just like, oh God, that's so much.
That'll save it.
But that's a good B camera operator right there. A and B camera operator, are you thinking about the cut as you're filming? Are you trying to think how it's going to cut together and sort of making sure that all the pieces are there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And often, have the discussion. We're going to have a discussion with the director. Where are we? Where do you see? Where are you coming out of this? 100%, because it makes such a difference to what you're going to do next, right?
Yeah.
And how long the shot needs to last, and because you can do things that go on for a long time and know if they're all going to get cut into.
It's so funny. I don't know who I was talking to just recently about this, but one of my big pet peeves is you'll do some just huge Steadicam shot, which is fine, but you fully know that there's a moment in the middle that they're going to cut into, and you're like, why can't we break this up? Because I can do this part better and that part better if I do something different, but to do the whole thing, and no, we're not going to, and then they'll do it, and then, you know what, we're just going to grab this little piece.
Just don't listen to the beginning.
I could have done both of those pieces better, but it happens.
Yeah.
And then what? So what do you do? What are you doing during rehearsal, as the camera operator?
Well, I'll sit in there watching with the director of photography and look at the scene as a whole, and we might have had a discussion beforehand of some ideas that we'd put in place. But generally, I'll have a think about it, but also think of trying to think of alternatives that can work.
So they've said this.
They've said maybe it's this. You think, okay, so you know what that is.
In the
so
back
you can sit there and think, well, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Sit there thinking, but what if it was this?
In case something changes.
In case it changes or it doesn't work, or suddenly something you could offer a better shot or a nicer shot or a slightly different idea. So it's just thinking through all the different possible scenarios. Usually,
my friend Jeff and I call that the back pocket shot. You always
Right,
got to
okay.
have that shot.
Yeah,
in your
you got
back
that.
pocket
Yeah.
that you can pull out. And,
That's a good. That's
but,
a good
but,
term.
but it's an interesting thing of how do you figure out when is the right time to pitch that
For
or
the back
not?
pocket
Because
shot.
because the thing is, some people don't want to hear. Some people don't want to be one-upped.
Yeah.
Do you just? I mean, is every situation different, or do you always bring out the better shot?
You have to at some point if you think it's a better shot. I think you have to. But again, that's just judging, reading the room, knowing the director and the DP and the people that you're working with. It's just about the timing for these things. There's not always a good time for that, or it's about knowing the right time.
Yeah.
It might not always be appropriate to bring out the back pocket shot.
Exactly.
You might have it and you could have a quick discussion with the DP. What do you think, Bo? And you think, well, yeah, that's a great shot, but
I'm
not now. Not now.
But
Or it is.
But it's funny because I couldn't agree more because I mean it's so funny. It's like, especially when you're talking to younger operators, you want to give them answers, but some of the things there just aren't answers to. It's like every situation's different, right?
That's right.
And here's the thing. Normally I could tell the DP this, but I know he just had a fight with his wife this morning, and I'm not about to go in and go, I better, or whatever.
That's right, whatever it is.
But it is.
Yeah, it's about timing and and I mean that's a big part of the job is being able to read people and situations.
That's the majority of the job. Right?
Yeah,
I think honestly, because in order to make things work, it's about knowing when to speak, knowing when to shut up, knowing when to say yes sir,
yes,
or yes ma'am. It's all that stuff. Have you ever had a situation where you've worked with a DP and a director who aren't seeing eye to eye and you're in the middle of it?
yeah.
Shocking, isn't it? So
yes,
how do you try to handle that?
Yeah, that can be very difficult.
Yeah.
Again, there's no one approach to that. There's no kind of right answer, or there's no one solution to that. I mean, it's a matter of diplomacy and timing again, and I mean, you're there with the DP, right? I mean, there's probably the person that's brought you on board. So not always. It could be the director.
No,
but
it could be. Yeah.
If
There's
it
a little
is,
bit of
then
if you have to decide who you're going to sign.
yeah.
I was just talking to Vince McLean.
Yes, yeah.
He said something I'd never heard before. He goes, "Oh, you just do your own shot."
I
said, really? He goes, "Yeah, do your own shot." And then when they come up, you go, "Well, you can decide." So I just did.
So I did that. Yeah.
I don't know that he actually does that, but I thought it was a great.
That is a good.
Why's the camera on a sandbag in the floor? Well, I just thought that was best what you came up with.
Yeah.
But it does happen, right?
It does. What I try to do sometimes is get them together and have a discussion and say, "Look, guys, please, what is it we're doing here?
Yeah.
You guys need to work it out.
Yeah.
Let us know. We have everything you need.
Yep.
Is it this or is it that?
Yep.
And then maybe just as well try and talk through
And then hope.
with them. Like,
Yeah.
this is good because of the merits of this and merits of that,
Yeah.
and which would mean we'd then have to do X, Y, and Z, and then
Yep.
just try and talk it out and try and hope that they're
Yeah.
reasonable about
And
it.
you know, the other thing that I've said to people in the past, which I think I do subconsciously, but I try to make it my failing. You know, bring them together and go, hey, I can't quite figure out
Yeah.
what we want to do here. I'm
That's
so
right.
sorry,
Yeah.
but I'm just not
Yeah.
getting it. What,
Yeah.
what do we want to do?
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
and then they're both
That's
looking
right.
at me
Yeah.
going, look at this idiot. He
Yeah.
doesn't know what's
That's-
going on.
yeah.
But sometimes to
Yeah.
be the scapegoat, I mean, that's kind of what you have to be sometimes.
No, that you're absolutely 100% right. Yeah, sometimes you just say, look, I'm not quite understanding what
Yeah.
this is here. Just
Yeah.
me. I don't
Yeah.
quite understand it. Is it this
Yeah.
or is it that?
And you don't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
explain that both of you are fighting, and we all know it.
Well,
and-
that's, yeah.
But sometimes if you give people the out, they'll take it.
Yeah.
How about you've worked on a lot of big things with big actors. How do you approach working with actors?
Again, it's, I like to, introduce yourself and
Yeah.
try and come across as a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I think initially, giving the actors confidence in that you as an operator know what you're doing,
Yeah.
what the shot, explaining to them what the shots are, where the camera is,
Yeah.
the size of the frames. We've got a wide, we've got this. Just talking it through with them so
Okay.
they know what's going on when they walk onto the set. 'Cause sometimes they walk on the set and you've set something up, they don't know. You say,
It's funny you said that because I think some people forget that is that you've been there for 30 minutes and this actor walks in.
yeah,
and nobody's told them
say,
sometimes what's
yeah,
going.
what it is. So
Yeah.
I always like to try and make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Look, this is what we've set. These are the shots, and so they understand in their mind because they want to visualize.
Sure.
The size of frame.
Unless of course they're the people who don't. You probably work with those
That's
people
right,
like,
yeah, that's
well,
right.
do you
Well-
ask them ahead? Do you want to know? I mean, do you find out whether they want that information?
I've never asked them. I've never asked specifically. Like, would you like me to tell you what's going on?
Yeah.
Or I've never really asked, but I guess I mean, method actors are things that they'll come in and you start turning over, and then I just sort of assume that those guys. I mean, with method actors, I have often had a little sort of like their method, they're in character, but I'll get a little wink out.
Yeah.
Or you can make a little sign to them. This is a.
Yep.
This is a.
Yep.
This is a
Well,
close
the
up.
other thing is, I think the first time you do it, you can gauge whether that's what they want or they don't want.
Yes, indeed.
And,
Yeah,
and then you just take it off of that, right?
Again, it's yes, exactly. Again, it's just reading the
It's reading the room.
situation,
Yeah.
reading the room, see how it feels. Is it appropriate? Isn't it? And if you get it wrong, you'll soon find out.
Do you know who there's an actor named Bradley Whitford who was on The West Wing? You know who he
Oh,
is?
okay.
I-
Yeah.
I did an
Yeah.
interview with him, and he's a very funny guy, and he's very self-deprecating. But I was talking to him about working with method actors and sort of what, and he said, what I love about method actors? He goes, you get a method actor and it's the 1800s and it's a Western and they're in the 1800s in the Western. And I always want to go up to him and go, so how do you explain the people on the cell phones and the camera over here?
Yeah,
you gotta pretend that they don't exist. You don't want to hear from them. But how do you explain? I never thought of it. I was like, that's
yeah,
really great.
that's true. How is that working in their method world? Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
the same time, I sort of look at it. If that's what they need, that's what they need, right? I mean, I can't imagine having to do their job. I think it's the hardest job on set.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
they need me not to be there, then I won't be.
Then,
To the extent that I can't be. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably work with their other actors who need everything from you and want to know. Have you had those situations where you're in some close up 4 feet away and afterwards they look at you and are wondering what you thought about it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's
They'll
a
look
trick-
at you
it's a
like
tricky
it's a
situation,
kind
right?
of- yeah, it's like
What-
it's good, but you generally know that they know it's good. They know it's good.
Yeah.
They're giving it their all.
I think they probably do. Yeah,
They
yeah.
do. I mean, they want to be in front of camera. They're giving it their all. They know it's good. I think when they've been asked, oh, what was it? Brilliant.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
brilliant. And I've never been in a position to say, like, do you know what? That was not quite. If I was you, I would, give it. Yeah. He's always
I
agreed.
was just talking to Kelvin Pike about He was the operator on Dr. Strangelove, and he was telling me that in the big war room, they're doing a shot, and Kubrick walks over and he goes, "Calvin, how was that?" And George C. Scott's doing his thing, and Calvin goes, "It was okay, but yeah, George wasn't as good as he was in the last one, I think, but they were both good." And Stanley turns around and goes, "George, Calvin didn't like the last take you did." So I like that even on like the big movies like that, they're throwing people under the bus.
I mean, there are times when like you said, you'd be so close to the actors, you're looking at the performance, and there's times when you will go and say to the director, "Look, I think, shouldn't they be doing this, or could that be
quietly,
or to the side?" And then it's it's passed on through the director. But when they asked me, "How was that? Was it great?" Yeah, thumbs up, brilliant, love
That's
it.
the safe answer. But that's another thing with the directors. I like to do that as well, but usually I probably won't give any feedback like that for the first couple of days, because I'm trying to figure out, do they even want
do
that?
they even?
And,
Yes,
and I
100%.
think they need to get to that point where they trust you enough to actually really.
I mean, what I'm talking about there is like, established relationship, like not someone you haven't worked with before.
You're just walking up and exactly. This should be better. This should be worse. What about working with your first AC and your dolly grip? Talk about that a little bit, and sort of the relationship and how that works.
Obviously, two of the guys and girls that you work most closely with. Well, amongst all other people that you work really closely with, but they're your full team together. I mean, and as well, a good dolly grip first AC, worth their weight in gold. You can't do it without.
So what makes someone a good dolly grip to you?
I would say somebody that has an idea of composition, and also the compositions that are required for the movie that you're doing, because the compositions, they're not always the same. It's always a different style usually. So understanding what it is and what's needing done, and if things aren't quite right, when they can and can't move.
That's a big one, right?
To correct things, when the time is right, and also they need to have a nice touch. On the dolly, but for them it is understanding the shots. And also where things are cutting or not cutting, because if they have a moment, while we're cutting,
they know
something else, they come back so they can make a little adjustment. So it's important that they need to understand the script, the story, the characters, the style, everything that's needed. And I guess the same with the first AC as well, because just because the camera's pointing at someone doesn't mean that they need to be in focus,
When you started operating, was the camera assistant next to you, or were they already off on monitors?
They were sat next to me.
They were, because the thing that I noticed for a while was, and I think it's changed again, and I don't know why, maybe the technology has gotten better, was for a while with digital, it's like they were always a hair behind because like when they were sitting on the dolly and the dolly started to move, they knew that the dolly was moving, right? So they started to focus with it. But when they're in another room, which sometimes they have to be, they would be a hair behind it and it would be catching up a little bit. But it seems to have gotten better, thankfully.
I think so. I mean, I think the technology that they're using, the light rangers, these things are helping them all the time. But the good guys are definitely using a combination of the old school techniques with modern. These things are just aids. It's not a be all and end all. I have a light ranger, everything will be in focus all the time.
That could be what's happened, actually, now that you mention it, is because maybe, like you were saying about getting comfortable, maybe they've gotten comfortable with the technology that now they're getting back to what they used to be able to do. Like there was a little bit of catch up for a while.
For a while. That's true.
But I've noticed it.
That's true.
Tell me about Saltburn, because it was fascinating. It must have been a fascinating movie to work on.
That was great. It was such good fun.
Did you enjoy the aspect ratio?
I did. I mean, yes, I did.
What
but
was
it
the
was
aspect ratio?
It was 4:3.
It's 4:3. So for anybody who's listening who doesn't know, 4:3 basically is like old television almost. As opposed to like 16:9 or widescreen or something.
It's a square box.
But I mean, it didn't frustrate you at first, or did you?
It was quite odd. It was odd at first. Because you're so used to 240, or you know,
Yeah.
I think the last couple of films they were all 240, and then suddenly
It's,
you're like, wow, this is
it's just
gonna.
even, it made me think of like what's a close up and what's a what. You know,
That's
it's like,
right.
where do I put them
It
in the
was a
frame?
total recalibration of
Yeah.
thinking of framing and how it works and how the camera works.
But you were clearly able to embrace it quickly because
Yeah, I
movie
mean,
looks
you
great.
have to, yeah, and get, you know, obviously there's very talented people involved there with, you know, Linus Zangman and
Sure.
Emerald, the director.
Was there a reason that they gave you for choosing that?
Yeah, Emerald liked the feeling partly that it was you were almost looking in on the subject matter, like in a doll's house
Oh,
kind of
interesting.
thing. That
Oh,
was one of
okay.
the things, and also I guess compositions within the house, within the home. There was so much that you would have missed.
Oh, yeah. You'd have to
That
pull
was
back much
about,
wider
yeah,
to see all
for
that. Oh, that's it.
yeah. Yeah, there was a combination of different ideas that
Yeah.
pushed it, you know, into
Oh, that's
this
fascinating.
4x3, and I think, you know, it certainly lends the film a particular
No question.
feel. You know,
Well, when I
it's
started
like-
watching it, the first couple of minutes, I was really sort of like, "This is annoying," and then I completely forgot.
Then
about
you
it because
forget
I got
about
into
it.
the movie, which
Yeah,
is
exactly.
which means it worked. But
Yeah, exactly.
At first, it was sort of jarring.
Yeah,
It was a good movie to work on.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was one of those films that that probably comes along every few years where everybody's together,
Yeah.
getting on, having a great time. It was the summer, you know.
Was it on stage or was that a
You
practical
know, it was
location?
practical location.
Where-
Yeah.
Oh, so some big
Out,
mansion.
yeah, out north of London,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
which had never been filmed in before,
Oh, really?
which is the first time that house had ever been used, because a lot of these houses that are around London have all been used for
Yeah.
Downton Abbey and The Crown and
Okay.
you know all
Yeah.
these kind
Sure,
of things.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
and that they didn't want that for the film.
Mhm.
Emerald didn't. She wanted somewhere that hadn't been used before. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So we were on location, and it was the summer, and you knew you were working on something good, you know,
Yeah.
something a bit different, and
Yeah.
it was just a very enjoyable job with the dynamic on set, with the cast, the actor, the crew. Everyone got on well. It was very fond
That's great.
memories.
Oh,
Very
that's
fond
fantastic.
memories.
Is there a
Yeah.
particular scene or shot or anything like that that sticks out in your mind?
Well, I mean, the one everyone talks about is one of the last shots in the film
Yeah.
when
Yeah. Sure.
Barry's, you know, naked down the corridor.
Yep.
But there was other stuff that we did that didn't make it in there, and even the opening shot, I think.
What was the opening shot?
I think the opening shot was. I don't remember if it is
Something
the
at
opening shot.
school?
When we come down, we're in Oxford because he's at Oxford University,
Yeah.
and comes down off the buildings, which was a step off from
Oh, yeah.
McLean, and then
Okay.
with a steady cam and
Yeah.
follows him all the way around, and then
Yeah.
there's a 180 rounding at
Mhm.
the end that
Yeah.
reveals the
Oh,
you know
yeah.
class of 2007 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But that was actually something that Emerald did. That was timed to music exactly, which a lot of people might not pick up on it, but
That he
So
was playing in your ear.
it was in
or
it. It was
playing
in
on
his.
set?
It was in his Barry's ear, in his ear, so he could pace his timing. So from when we craned down
Uh-huh.
to he walked into
Sorry,
shot,
Barry's the
the
actor.
Barry, yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
Keoghan,
Okay.
yeah, the
Yeah.
actor, till
Oh,
he
okay.
comes into
Oh,
frame.
really?
It was to music. So when we wrap round at the end,
Yeah.
like it's perfectly in time with the music.
Oh, wow.
So which was designed at the
and
time.
were
It
you
wasn't-
listening to it as well?
No, I didn't listen to it.
You just
no,
went off-
I just went off of Barry's.
Off of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Barry's speed that
Wow.
he was going. So
I'm trying to think of what's the movie that Bill Pope shot for Edgar? Baby Driver.
oh yeah,
Baby Driver. They had earwigs in with music
Sure.
the entire. I mean,
I heard
dialogue
that,
scenes,
yeah.
everything.
yeah, yeah.
And it's why everything is to the music. It's a fascinating thing. Did they do that for other parts of the movie?
To do that, yeah. I mean, within the movie, there's a lot of clever things in
Yeah.
the Emerald. You know, that puts
That's great.
she's put in there.
Yeah.
So having gone back, is that memorable shots? I mean, there was a lot of stuff in there
great
that's
stuff in
like
the movie, yeah,
you know, the party scene at night and stuff was
Oh,
fun
yeah,
to
yeah,
do, and you know. There was just a lot of fun stuff, you know. I had this fun handheld stuff, and
And is that the kind of thing where is it Linus or Linus? Linus.
Linus. Yeah, Linus. Yeah.
Is are the two of them basically deciding handheld Steadicam, or are you involved in that as well, or I mean,
Yeah,
is it designed ahead of time?
I mean, it was. I think it's designed, ahead
Yeah.
ahead of time.
It feels like a movie that's
Mostly,
very
yeah.
someone had a
Yeah.
heavy hand.
Yeah, Linus and
figuring-
Emerald,
Yeah.
planned that
Yeah.
out. Yeah, there are moments when you think, oh, maybe this could be
Sure.
could be Steadicam.
Yeah.
And you think actually this could be good. We're going to do this handheld. So yeah, as you know,
Yeah.
things of as much as you plan, things gonna
Of
you know
course.
evolve a little. But yeah, it was very, very well prepped
That's great.
beforehand. Yeah,
That's fantastic. Just because I have to ask you, Johnny English strikes again. Is Rowan Atkinson just a blast to work with? Please tell me he's hysterical in person.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Well, I can tell you a bit about Rowan. He's pretty serious.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's pretty serious about it. He is fun, and
I will say, by the way, I mean, I work with Steve Martin, I work with a couple other people, and
Yeah.
when they're not doing their comedy, they're
Yeah.
actually, a lot of them, not all of them, but
Yeah.
a lot of them are. But I guess more what I was asking was, when you're working with him and he's in his character,
Yeah.
is it just, are you just laughing the entire time?
Yeah, he's good because because of his face and his
I mean-
performance. His performance is brilliant.
I don't know how you
he's
look at him and
physical-
not laugh.
physical performer, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
he's brilliant, but he's very he's serious about his performance. There's
Turns it
so
on
much
now.
thought that
Yeah.
goes into what
Really?
he's doing.
That's
yeah.
fascinating.
And then he wants to see it all back.
Yeah.
And they go, no, I can do this better. I should do that. I can do that. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's see it back. Do it again.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, like how like a perfectionist, he'll go to the point where he's almost exhausted doing it.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that's
Yeah,
the
that's
way
why- that's why it works,
the way
right?
he
Yeah, yeah,
that's the
yeah.
way he works. But a very pleasant, nice man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
absolutely,
wonderful.
Yeah.
No Time to Die. It's so funny because I'll tell you. So I'm over here in England and I'm talking to a lot of English operators, and I look down at his IMDb, and I'm so jealous because everybody has either worked on a Star Wars movie, a James Bond movie, or both.
Right.
and all I
they're
can
not-
think of is like,
oh.
oh my god, as a kid to work
Yeah.
with James Bond. How was that to work on?
Yeah, that was, that was amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think, I had to sort of give myself a slap in the face when you
Right.
sat there. The first shot I did was on a 65mm Panaflex. I think it was like, oh my god,
I'm doing
this
James
is real. I'm
Bond,
doing
yeah.
James Bond. It
Yeah,
was,
because you probably you grew up on it like I did.
yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah, it was amazing to
That's
think
pretty
that
cool.
you're standing there doing this. You're like, am I dreaming? Am I going to wake up from this? It was amazing. But then that soon disappears because you get into
Because it's just so
you
much
go
work.
into it because
Yeah.
there's so much work.
It's gotta be a massive movie,
So
right?
much, yeah.
And are you
Massive,
doing
massive
a lot
movie.
of stunt stuff, or is that a totally separate?
Separate unit.
Yeah, okay.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly.
Mostly
So
also
you're basically
separate
doing
unit.
most of the drama, and then,
Yeah.
then it goes to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean the second unit on it is huge.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
must
it's
be
big.
its
It's
own-
bigger, if not bigger. Yeah, it's its own
And do
movie.
you interact with them at all on something like that, or they basically?
Not really. No, they're like standalone,
Yeah.
separate. Yeah,
Sure.
separate unit.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
they do a lot of fun stuff.
But that's
We did too.
that's pretty cool. So, but I don't think I saw a Star Wars movie on your thing. So you have yet to do that.
Yeah,
that must be
I
coming.
get to do it. I actually got asked. I got asked to do some pickups or something for it, and
Yeah.
then it didn't work out.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I'm sure it will
stuff,
happen
yeah.
because there's certainly enough of
yeah,
them.
there's a lot of them around.
And
Yeah.
they all seem to be here. It seems like everything's coming here.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully.
tax breaks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, tax
Reason
breaks and
behind it.
so many. I think the other thing is I think after the strikes that we had, a lot of things seem to have moved over here simply because they don't want to deal with the unions, unfortunately.
Yeah,
which
well,
is
I
great
heard-
for you guys and not great for
Yeah,
us.
it's not great for you
these
guys
things are
because then they're
cyclical.
not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, being around long enough that
Yeah.
exactly they'll come full circle, they'll
Yeah.
come back
Yeah.
again.
Well, the idea is there should be enough work for everybody.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
for anybody listening, I wish the people in the United States would take a note from you folks and just do 10-hour days because
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do the 10-hour days. Is
I mean,
Enough. That's,
average TV day is 13 with an hour for lunch, and it's just it's exhausting after a while. I mean, it's a grind, and I can't imagine the idea. Who was I talking to today? Or yesterday, someone was saying that their deal was they were done by 7:30. And I was like, oh, so it's not even like a 10-hour day. It's just that, yeah, we finished at 7:30. I remember what movie it was. I was like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's
Because it
great.
also means you're starting in the morning and this and that.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost not quite have a life in
Yeah.
the week,
Well,
but
more
you
so than
can,
if you
yeah,
don't-
but
yeah.
more so than
But at
you
least you have
guys
your
can
weekend.
do, and you have your weekend, and
Yeah.
generally we have, you'll have you'll have a Friday night as well. It's not like you guys are going into Saturday mornings and
Nope.
stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
Although it's not as bad because our union's changed to where we get 54 hours off. So if you go into Saturday morning, it kind of messes up Monday. So it does happen occasionally,
Right,
but
right.
And it's
Okay.
interesting because everybody was sort of like, and then the minute that went into, you didn't see Saturday morning anymore. So
I see. Yeah.
so there's a plus to that, which is good.
Yeah.
You still get nervous when you start a job?
No, I don't think so
Oh,
anymore.
that's good. You got past.
Yeah, no, I don't think I do. It's just like
that's great.
back to work.
You
Here
were
we
doing
go.
it.
How
Good.
do we? What are we doing here? I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Not
that's good,
anymore.
That's good. What do you think is the difference between you can pick anyone you want, a good operator and a great operator? Like, what makes someone a great operator?
Oh, good question.
I've been trying to figure this way. I ask everybody because I want to figure it out.
I want to figure out. Can you tell me an answer so I can get
I'll
better?
tell you when I find out.
Yeah. Well, I guess it goes back to what we were saying earlier about reading the room, and managing how you manage the floor, how you deal with actors, directors, direct photography, and all the rest of the crew, and you it's a people skills job. How you deal with the people, because technically, if you say you're an operator, then the technical side of it, being able to use, like we said, steady cams, cranes, dollies, all the stuff that goes without saying.
Yeah.
We said the real skill is managing the people and saying the right thing at the right time. But also, I guess, understanding the style of the film and what the director and the DP are after, and being able to offer up the right things, and understanding the cut and how things might cut together, or how it could be done slightly better than maybe you're discussing at the time. So being able to edit in your head,
Yep.
and having a thought, is that right, or is this the right time to be cutting from here? I mean, it's just managing all these things in your head. There's just so much going on that doesn't involve ever touching a camera.
It's. I mean, you actually said that perfectly, because I think so much of it has nothing to do with the camera.
Yeah, nothing.
I mean, you do stuff through the camera, but it's not all that other stuff that you're talking about.
I mean, the moving the camera is the easy bit.
It seems like it.
Probably. Sometimes, I mean, often there's particular skills involved there, obviously, that you can learn. People can learn them, and you can learn how to do that. But you need to know when to apply them at the right time, and being able to apply them, and understanding the right tools for the right shots as well. It's like,
I think the way that I look at it is, to me, moving the camera is the really fun part.
Yes.
And all that other stuff is the stuff that I don't enjoy. I mean,
That's
not
right.
that I don't enjoy
Yeah.
it, but you kind of have to put up with it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I know. Like positioning background. Like,
You do or
this
you-
guy
you do
here,
or you
this
don't?
guy here. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, I don't really like you
Yeah.
have to do it as part of your job
Sure.
often, but I don't really enjoy having to do that.
Yeah.
It's half a step to the left. I feel like
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that's composing the
all part
shots. But yeah, that's gonna be.
What about working with a first AD?
Yeah. Again, another very important
Yeah.
relationship.
How do you
with
approach
someone.
that?
I think you want to kind of befriend them if you don't know them straight away, because together you're running the floor.
Yeah.
So again, it's about being nice,
Yeah.
giving them confidence that that they know that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
They
Do you
need to
right off
know
the
that.
bat try to sort of engage them and, hey, I mean, how long do you need for this scene, or whatever?
Yeah.
Just something to let them know that your head's in that
Asking
game.
them questions
Yeah.
when if we first shot, first scene, when are they coming back?
Yep.
What's happening here? What's the plan with it?
Yeah.
Just to strike up a dialogue. But generally, beforehand in prep, you'll already have met them, because we go on the Tech Scouts together.
See, that's something
Which
you
you
guys
guys-
get to do, which we do not. And I
I don't know
so wish
how
we
you.
could.
I do
Well,
not
and,
know.
and
and
here's the thing that drives me nuts is I'll show up and there would be some massive shot that someone else has decided how to do.
Yeah.
And normally it's
Yeah.
the DP and the key grip who have decided the equipment who have used. And
Yeah.
nothing against either of them, but they are not the ones who have to
have
pull
to
it
execute
off.
it exactly.
And
That's why I don't understand how you guys.
It-
I
it
don't.
will-
do
I've
the
I've
Tech
tried to get
Scouts.
in early on prep so many times, and they do not do it. And but it's sort of normal here for you to be
Yeah,
out on prep.
100%. I mean, I mean, not doing them is like I don't know how you do it without.
Makes so much sense.
It makes because you could get the three. You think DP, operator, and grip together
Yeah.
on the Tech Scout.
Boom.
What are we doing here? We could do it between the three of you.
If it-
Here's a great idea.
Yeah,
What do we
exactly.
need for that? We could use this. We could
Yeah.
get that. We could. You can discuss it all between
Yeah.
you and work it out. So when, like you said, when you turn up,
Yeah.
ready to go.
Well, and this is my pet peeve. Not that this would ever actually happen or has ever happened, but you show up and you're using a certain piece of equipment, maybe a crane,
Mm.
and you're realizing that it's not the right piece of equipment. And then you do a little information checking and you find out that someone in the grip department, maybe the key group, owns the crane.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
well,
I don't want to take anybody's rental away, and I'm not saying, but it's like, but this isn't
No,
the right.
it's not
Well, yeah,
the
you
right-
can make it work. It's like I can make it work, but my job isn't to make it work. I want to make
Yeah,
it.
I want to make
best
it
we can.
good. Yeah.
And it is very frustrating sometimes.
Uh,
And it's nothing against. It's not even saying actually that anybody's necessarily blatantly saying whatever, but they're not the people who are executing the shots, and
that's
you know
right.
what you need.
And it's the buck stops with you. You're the one that's
And I'm the
gonna
one they're
get
going to
it.
look at when they go, why isn't this
Why
doing it?
isn't
And,
this
and what you can't say is,
100%.
well, because we had the wrong piece of equipment, because so-and-so didn't,
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Yeah, you can't. I know you
it's-
just can't
it's
go
the
down
worst.
that route. It's yeah. I mean, I'm a firm believer having the right equipment for the
Yeah.
right shot, and I like just because you own it, it's like you can't start pushing it.
And I should say, by the way,
Job
anybody
is-
listening, I love the key grips I work with. And-
Apart from that one
Yeah,
guy.
Apart from that one time.
Yeah, that one time. What is this?
yeah, but it is, I mean, and not even from the point of view of being the wrong equipment, but more so just, because you do it. Like I wouldn't want to tell the DP how to light because
Yeah, what light
because
do
I
you
don't
need?
light,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and I want to tell
Yeah.
the key group how to build, some piece of.
Yeah.
So because not even that it's the best way to do it, but I may have an idea that they haven't thought of because like, oh, you know what? Actually, 2 shows ago I did
This and we
da-da-da-da.
use such and such and
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
and it would work perfectly. Yeah, I mean, you guys should really try and check. That would be one.
Well, it's not for
that
lack of
and-
trying.
Yeah, that and the hours.
Well,
If
the
you
problem
change
is
those,
we're all too tired, so we
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
do it.
then
No,
you
but-
would all be the greatest operators in the world.
Yeah,
And,
there you
and
go.
back in the UK, we wouldn't have any work. So
Yeah,
I'm glad it's
so we
not
won't do it.
changing.
Yeah, there you go. No, but early on, and usually one of the things I'll do with the ADs that kind of to set the tone is right after the first rehearsal or sometime during the first day, if there's a moment, I'll occur to go up and go, hey, so just between you and me, I'm seeing we got the master, we got a shot over there,
Yeah.
and then maybe this close. Do you see anything else? And they go, yeah, but or sometimes I'll go up to them and go, just be aware. They said there's just 3 shots. I guarantee you it's 4, where they're gonna need a pop of. Oh, yeah. So just
Yeah, just so they
yeah,
had the heads up
Yeah.
thoughts. Yeah,
and
yeah.
because I think that sort of sets the tone of like, look, I'm on your side. We just want to get
Yeah.
this and get it
It's
well.
just like communication and all knowing that you're talking about the same thing, that nothing comes as a surprise.
yeah, that's
Kinda thing.
that's exactly it. Is it yeah.
Or if you overhear the director saying, "Oh, I think I need a shot," it was like you said, say they do. I just heard him saying,
Yep. Yeah.
So,
And the other things I'll usually talk to them and go, hey, so I think we get this and we get that, and then we're gonna turn around, so we should probably be talking about these
Yeah.
cards back here and whatever. And then again, they know like, oh, this is good.
oh,
this is
he's
someone
thinking
who's on my
ahead.
side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you sort of
yeah.
get that in your back pocket. But
Yeah.
what about working with a boom operator? How do you work with a boom operator?
Get it? No. No, that's very unfair. Again, the good guys, I'm happy to discuss the shots with them.
Can you tell right
discuss
away
the-
whether they're the good guys or not? Because some they're out there and some aren't
Yeah,
as much. How
yeah.
do you, what do you look for?
They'll come and ask what the shot is, or they'll know the lenses,
Yeah.
the format and the lenses, and they'll know, and you can tell straight away because the frame's there and the boom it's right in the right where you'd expect it to
Yeah.
be. It's not like hanging around. Oh, tell me, like, And so I think you just have a feeling, you just know those guys. Well, someone asks you what lens are you on, and they're with, oh, we were on a 50mm,
Yeah.
and the boom comes in
Right on.
and right on it.
Yep.
You're like, okay, this guy knows.
Okay, I
this
can check
girl
that
knows
off
what
the
they're
list.
doing.
I don't need to.
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, but working with them, I'm happy to run you through the shots with them and to give them
Yeah.
like, well, at this point we're here, then we're there, and then you've got this, and sometimes you have to do that for them because they're doing their work too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And it's got to be as good as it.
And they're by themselves too.
Can be,
I
yeah.
sort of feel for them, to be perfectly honest,
Yeah.
because it's like at least I've got a couple people with me. They're kind of on their own somewhat.
Yeah,
And so I try to make sure
Yeah.
I'm on their side, so to speak.
and I guess it's not just about keeping it out of shot. There's also shadows, but they also have to be getting good sound as well. So they have to find the right spot for the boom. There's no point in saying get it out, it's in shot, but
They still gotta
if
get
the
the sound,
sound
yeah.
sucks, then
Yep.
that's not any good to them. So
Yeah.
it's kind of helping and managing them. And sometimes the grips, you might say, look, guys, can we get a deck in here for these guys? You know, help them.
Oh,
You
a
know,
deck
on
meaning
a
something to
decking.
stand on.
Yeah, something to stand
yeah.
on. Getting them
Yeah.
a couple of 8-foot decks, and they
Yep.
can walk along. You know, like just help them with.
Yeah. I
If
think
they're not
it's
asking
a
you,
good
like-
point because that goes a long way towards they realize that you're both fighting the same fight, that you're not fighting each other.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
this weird thing that I don't know where it came from, but when I got in, there was this whole thing of like, no, camera and sound don't get along together, and it's like we're both trying to make the same movie. I don't
It's not-
understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't hear what they're saying. It's not
Yeah.
going to be much.
Yeah, if
good.
the
It's
boom's
like-
in my shot, they can't use it. And if they can't hear what they're saying, they
Yeah, you
can't
can't-
use it either. So
yeah,
yeah, there was that.
yeah.
Just an interesting thing.
I mean, I guess nowadays, then with painting out a bit of boom here and there, it's pretty bread and butter stuff, easy.
Well,
stuff.
it is interesting because I did Ozark last
Yeah.
season of Ozark, and they do a lot of static frames on that.
Mhm.
And when I got there, the boom came in, and I said, "Oh, and he goes, yeah, well, oh," and he took me aside and he said, "Listen, so obviously, assume you're okay with it, but on the static frames, they let me get in as much
okay,
as I
right.
can." And I said, "Oh, they don't mind painting it out?" And he goes, "No, it's not a paint out." He said, "If you're not moving the shot, they can just literally say we roll a couple seconds without it beforehand. And they can just
and
do
just
a wipe down
wipe
from the
it,
top."
yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
never thought about that before. I said, "Oh, that's brilliant."
Yeah,
So he would be in there all
In
the
there,
time,
right.
because he would just call in. He goes, "Static frame, yeah." I'm gonna be in the shot. Great, and everybody knew. And it was I
It's
never
like a
thought about
working
it.
method, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
but the
important
other
thing.
part of it, like you said, is there is that thing that used to be like, you had to, hey, the boom was in, but now it's sort of like you'd go over and you go, just want to make sure everybody knows the boom was in, they can take it out. Yeah, it's
it's
fine.
it's an easy fix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not quite what it used to be by any means.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, some of the smaller jobs are still, they don't want to be paid
Yeah, no,
to
no,
do
I
that.
totally
The bigger
get it.
ones, they're like.
And it's funny,
yeah.
my wife is a VFX artist, and she does rotoscoping and this and that and the other, but a lot of times she'll just get hired to do some cleanup. The effects people will, we don't have time for this, and they'll find, because they know they can give it to her.
Mhm.
And she comes in from her office one day, and she comes in. I've told this story here before, but she comes in. Come here, come take a look at this. I go in, looking at a car, and she goes, "Look at the windows on the car." And I look, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, the whole crew's in there. Like,
Right,
someone's eating
yeah.
a sandwich." And
Yeah.
whatever. She goes, "Why is the crew in there?" I was like, "Oh, I mean, I don't know." She goes, "Why wouldn't the operator just tell them to move?" And I said, "I don't know." She goes, "You would tell them to move." And I go, "Yeah, I would totally tell them to move." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "I wasn't on the movie." But she's upset because she's now got to
She's got- yeah.
clean it up. She's like, "Why wouldn't they?" So when I'm on set all the time, when people, "Oh, they'll just paint it out," I was going, "No. We got 2 minutes. Let's just
It's
let's just
easier.
look
Yeah.
like amateurs and whatever."
Yeah.
But I understand that there are times when you go, "Look, that's going to take 20 minutes, Dave. We don't have the time." I totally get that.
That's it.
But I think people get a little.
Yeah, you don't want to get lazy
You
with
don't
that
wanna get
stuff. You
lazy
still
with that.
want the image to be as clean as it can be. You don't want
Yeah,
to.
and the other thing is, I don't want some producer looking at it and there's somebody eating a sandwich
Yeah,
in the
in the
reflection
back
of
of
the
your
window,
shop,
because
I
it
know.
just makes me look bad.
Yeah, that's right. Because they don't have to be. No, I agree. If it's a
Yeah.
simple thing, just
Yeah,
just.
but it's funny. I
clean
always
it,
think of
like-
her, and I'm like, she's dressing me down because of it.
But then she's getting work though. If they didn't
Yeah,
have
well,
that,
there is
she would
that.
have
So, yeah,
jobs.
someone will be
She'd be
working.
saying, "Dave, get more people eating sandwiches
I'm
in
not getting
shop."
enough stuff. Leave
Yeah.
some more people in there.
Yeah.
What do you think? You have advice for a B camera operator on someone who's just jumping in and they're on B camera operator, but they're learning. Do you have advice for a B camera operator?
Um, I would say be attentive, be listening,
Uh-huh.
always be on the set. Try and keep as close an ear as you can to the director, DP, operators. You know, understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
Watching every single shot.
Yeah.
Like never skip out the room. Never go. I'm off for a coffee or I'm off to. You got to be there to see every single setup. Because when they need you, it's be for a very specific thing, and you have to understand what that is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna make a fool of yourself. So yeah, I think being attentive and watching, paying attention on the set, what's going on, is a big thing.
Yeah.
But when you're watching and listening, you can be watching if you're quite new. You can be watching your camera operator and just learning from it and seeing how they do it and what they do, and also you can see if they make mistakes as well, and you think, well, okay, or if they've forgotten something, or you can learn from all these things.
It's funny because I think you don't learn more from people's mistakes, but I think you see more mistakes than you see something that makes you go, oh wow, that was impressive.
Yes.
And you go, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But when you're an A camera operator and B camera operator, there's not a B shot, but there's a shot they come up with. Do you prefer them to come to you and see if it's going to work for you before they go to the DP and put it in?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think how that works, because I mean, quite often we'll have a discussion before, for two cameras, and when we're discussing the shots and what we're setting up at that time, I'll already probably know what the B camera is doing.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I think
a shot where it's only a camera.
It's only a camera, and they have.
They could get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do they bring it to you? Do they bring it to the DP?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Sometimes, they've come to me and said, do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah.
It depends on their level of experience as well, I suppose. They might come to me and say, do you think it's a good idea? I should offer this up. And you can say, yeah, that's a great idea. And then you can, go and...
Yeah.
Or you can say, well, no, because I don't think you should do that, because maybe it's the wrong side for the light, or you're going to have to put all this stuff in, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Or it's not necessary. So...
If they're newer, it sounds like it's better to come to
I think it probably is, because
it's like a softer pitch.
I think it probably is, because then the DP will be up to their eyes, and all sorts of things with the A camera shot. And it depends how much brain space you think the DP's got as well. You could say
that's interesting, actually.
How they deal with these things. Some guys will be like, oh, like what's happening? You could say the B camera, don't come. But we'll discuss it first.
Come to me.
And
I'll take it up there.
Or otherwise, you could be saying, well, you're working with someone that you could say, well, he or she, they're fine. Just go and ask them. Yeah. If they want it, they'll.
It's really interesting that you said that, because it's something that I haven't talked a lot about on this. There is that thing of, as an operator, along with all the other things that we have to do, and I'm not saying everybody has a lot to do.
Yeah.
But one of the things also I think I think I tend to do is you keep an eye on the DP. And when there's so much coming in that they're spinning out of control because they've got, costumes wants to talk to them and the production designer wants to talk to them at lunch, and something's going on at home, and all
this stuff,
everything.
Yeah,
you can go and go, hey, you want me to run this and take this off your plate, and sometimes that's invaluable, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I mean,
Totally, yeah.
I kind of don't know how DPs do it, because it's like, it's fun. If people ask me before, like, why do you DP? And I'm like, because I like to eat lunch with my friends.
I like to have a life.
They're always having lunch with someone they're meeting, and then on the way home they're on the phone, and
on weekend and everything. It's like all encompassing. Totally agree.
It's overwhelming.
Totally agree. I mean, I think sometimes it maybe, depending on what's going on, you could get the B camera and set it up and offer it up. Knowing that it's the right shot, and it's it's not going to be a big deal lighting wise. Because understanding light as an operator as well, you have to do that too. You're not going to offer up something that's a nightmare for the DP. So
and the line, right?
Exactly. So you can offer it up and then go and say, oh, what do you think about this? And they might go, oh, great.
Yeah.
Or no, we don't need it. Then it's easier to take it out than to put it in. If it's
Sure,
there
sure,
and it's
sure.
ready, you can just go.
Although I
It's
have
like-
been in the situation before where that's happened, and the director has seen it and fallen in love with it. So you got to be careful
It's,
with
well,
that too,
yeah, that's
right?
what I mean. So it has to, it has to be right.
it's gotta
It
be
has to
right.
be right.
Yeah.
You can't throw the DP under a bus.
And the other
like,
part of it
it's like,
is I've been in this situation where the B camera operator has gone to the DP to mention something, and the director has been standing there, and the DP has said no, and the director's gone, no, that sounds like let's do that, and then suddenly it's like,
yeah,
and now we got to relight that, or we got to this, and then I get taken aside and be like, don't let him come over and talk, So,
but then that goes back to knowing about
It's reading the
saying
riddle and-
saying the right thing at the right time, or when and not to say
or when
something.
not to say.
Yeah.
Yep, that is absolutely right. Any tips for newer operators on working with actors who aren't hitting their marks? Not that ever happens, right? All actors hit their mark. It used to be great because it was like, if you're on your mark, you're in the light.
You're in it.
And
That's
if you're
it.
off
You're
the
not.
mark,
We
you're
can't
but
see
it's not
it.
that
It's
way
not like that
right?
anymore. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like that anymore.
I mean, do you just let it go, or
It depends, right?
Yeah.
It depends how much of a compromise it is for the shot, right? If
Yeah.
they're on the mark or if
Yeah.
they're not. But how to deal with the actor? I mean, sometimes it's like, can be a case of we have to get you there,
yeah,
or the shot doesn't work.
yeah,
But again, we'll keep saying this. It's going back
I
to
know.
managing people
Yeah.
and getting them on side. And if they trust you and they rely on you, they feel comfortable with you, they'll, you're all working together.
yeah.
They'll work with you and they'll understand it. The good ones will.
One hopes.
Well, yeah, exactly. And
What about the actor that you can't, who's made it very clear? Look, I don't want to know any of the technical stuff or whatever. Do you go to the DP and the director then and say, what do you want me to do, or what do you?
Well, I think we're probably already aware of that, right? When you start,
Yeah.
you already know. So the DPs probably let the set slightly differently for them, so that it's giving them a bit more free reign, and you make sure you're prepped if you're on the dolly or the crane that this is good. This is
Come over a little bit. or
yeah,
whatever.
we're going to be ready here. Again,
Yeah.
it goes back to having a good dolly grip.
Yeah.
Can see that this is. They're not quite
They're not
where it
clearing
needs
the
to be,
other actor.
but they can be
whatever.
however it is. So
Yeah.
you're relying on your dolly grip for that. If the actors aren't interested, then you have to do what you have to do to make it work. We move the camera to suit the actor.
Yeah.
But you can't. I mean, you can't. That's the only solution, really. You
Yeah.
can't make them do it if you don't want to do it. So.
Yeah. What I've found in the past is usually I'll go up to the DP or the director and go, look, just so we're clear, person's not hitting. I'm going to adjust, but there's nothing that I can do to get them there. I mean, because it'll cause more harm than good if I try to do that. So I'm just going to come over a little if that's okay.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, they'll. We know we get it.
They get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you do get that sometimes. You're like, why the hell is it like? What? Well,
Yeah.
they're not on the mark again.
Yeah,
Like
and
then why? You're like, well, we're adjusting, but they're even more like it's.
And then you get those DPs or directors who are like screaming it across the thing, and you're like, I'm trying to keep this fair. I don't want to go into this. all the time. Yeah. Or the other thing that I've talked about a bunch on this is that thing where you focus has been off, or maybe you've been off the mark on the dolly, or we need another one. Why? I didn't do a good job. What was wrong with that? And you really don't want to
Trying to say specifically what it was. Yeah.
It's just like, like, shut up and let's just.
We had some technical issues here.
Yeah,
We do another one. Yeah,
but,
it's
that happens. But there are those times, I'm sure you've done it well, where someone else has screwed up and you sort of go, I didn't do it well. I just need another one.
yeah. We just need another one.
And I think those
that's it. You just have to. We kind of
You take the
weigh
bullet,
it.
And those are invaluable because I think it shows those people like, no, we're all in this together.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody-
Yeah, if it's right, because you could the dolly grip or the crane grip work if something doesn't go right, or I mean, you just
It
say,
happens.
guys, we need to do it again. And sometimes you do a shot, the director says, great, moving on. You have to say, well, hold on. You say, look, I'm really sorry, but that wasn't good enough.
You got to get in there quick enough.
You got to
right?
be straight in there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
cannot even give it like
Yep.
5 seconds. You could be straight off the bat because they will move on straight away.
They'll
But
be walking to the
because-
next set, right?
because sometimes the shot can be okay, but it's not of the right standard. It's just not as good as it needs
Yep.
to be, for the judge, and you know that. So
Yeah.
you need to try and get them to do it again.
Yeah.
Often you get that chance, and sometimes though you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you need to. You has to be right first. I mean, everyone wants to get it right first time. Of course,
but
so
it
that's what you're there. But it doesn't
and that,
always
and
like
that, by
that.
the way,
but-
you don't get a rehearsal, right? And
Yeah,
those
well,
are
that's
things
right.
Good Lord. Lord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And my favorite thing is like, well, let's just shoot the rehearsal and see if the magic happens. And it's like, first of all, there's no magic. It's us doing our job
And if
well.
you're shooting the rehearsal, it's not a rehearsal.
It's not a rehearsal. And then the other thing is then it'll happen. It'll be like, well, what happened? And you're like, well, that was the rehearsal.
Yeah,
You
it's the
said we're
first
shooting.
time we've ever seen this. Don't,
Just 'cause we're
you know,
rolling.
don't bust their balls. This is going to be a mess.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And then
like-
the AD will, well, why do we have to do rehearsal? It's like, because we want to do our job.
Gotta do it, gotta do it
But,
right, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
it's-
there are sometimes I'm saying,
I
like,
get it.
you say, we have to rehearse it.
But,
There are other times you know the shot, you're like, okay.
Well, and also there are those things
It's
where you
like-
go into it, and it's like, look, they'll come in and go, I know you don't want to do this, but the actor's hot and just
Yeah,
wants to go.
wants
And
to
it's just
go.
like, I'll give it a shot,
Yeah.
as long as everybody understands that,
Yeah,
we
we'll
haven't
have to
figured
do it
this
again.
out.
And then suddenly you're like 20 takes deep.
Yeah.
Because the actor wants again, and then they want you, like,
And
and,
there's no
and
time
you've
to
done
fix
it.
it.
And you've done it, like, right, 18 times in a row.
Yeah.
And they're still going. So it isn't like...
Yeah. And that's one of the other interesting things that always amazes me is we've got to nail it every time, right? Because
Yeah.
we're basically waiting for them to get the right performance. It's not about us, it's about them. So
yeah,
which is the hard part of the job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it has to be right every time.
Have you ever done one of these things where on Steadicam, where it's usually on Steadicam, sometimes it's on a dolly, but I find it's usually more on Steadicam or handheld, where it's just you're completely in sync with an actor and you're kind of making it up as you go and just and I hate to use the word, but there is like a magic that happens where you just fall and you
In the
get one
right
of those
spot.
amazing moments of I can't believe this is happening.
is-
Have you had one of those?
I guess... I mean, I guess that, yeah, absolutely. There's times when you have actors that understand the cameras and
Yeah.
compositions
It's
and
a
what
dance,
is you're
right?
doing, yeah, and where you are and where they need to be. It's them understand. Those actors are obviously we like a
It's
lot
incredible.
because they know. They know the lens, they know the size of the frame before
Yeah.
you go, so they can put themselves in the right place at the right time, even if things are slightly off.
Yeah.
They totally can save shots, make shots. So when these things happen, then yes, that's a joy because you think, oh, thank God, they know what they're doing.
And also, you come out of
It's
it and you
like-
go, I am so good. And then you realize you're not.
You realize it's like...
I did ER for 3 years when I was very young, and everything lined up and this and that and the other. And then I went on to other things, and I realized very quickly that those guys would land and then instantly know how to clear themselves. And I was
From-
like, I'm always landing.
I'm getting it.
And then I got into other things, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's
They were totally helping me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a thing that I don't know if it happens, but you think for actors that they should be, when you're learning to be an actor, they should be like a class where
They totally should.
where they bring cameras in and dollies and explain to them,
Yep.
if you stand behind this person here, we can't see you.
Can't see you. Yeah.
But if you go here, we can see you.
Yep.
And understanding the camera, the lenses, and maybe how it moves.
Absolutely.
Because you get these kids that turn up that I'm an actor and go on to set and they it can be all over them.
No idea.
Not got a clue what the camera's doing or where it is or
Yeah.
what's going on. So it seems like there's something missing there for them and part of their
Yeah.
learning.
It's interesting that you say that because I definitely have noticed that, but I don't know what it could be. As my default is always that it has something to do with going to digital. I don't I don't know what it is, but
right.
something has definitely changed. And also, by the way, there is that thing of younger actors now. I don't think. It used to be that if you didn't hit your mark, like you were saying, you weren't in your light and you didn't look very good and nobody could see you or something like that. So you had to hit.
You
your
had
mark.
to, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's gone.
Yeah.
So a lot of that second nature
Yeah.
stuff is just not there anymore.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a difficult struggle. Some sets you can go onto, or say you're going to do a daily or something on,
Yeah.
and you think, the precision and the way the sets
not there.
run is not there. You know, all these old techniques and the way things have been done, it just isn't.
Yeah.
It's sort of like slipping away in some places,
Yep.
which is pretty sad.
It is. There's no question.
Um,
I just worked on a thing a little while ago, and they were all young actors, and they'd all sort of grown up on the show. So some of them were started really young, and I don't know who was working on it before, but I came in and they'd come and land in and over, and they'd completely block, and the other person would. So if they're blocking, just if you want
Yeah.
to find the lens, what do you mean? Well, she was, and I suddenly realized, like, oh, nobody's ever explained this to you. I don't know what they used to do before, and I think what they used to do before is the camera would just do a
Would just-
massive move, but
Yeah.
so I said, oh well, so take a look here, and I'd bring them around to the camera and I'd show them whatever. I said, so if you can't feel my lens, you can always just
Yeah.
lean if you want, or I can try to find you, or something,
Yeah.
and then try to explain to the foreground people, hey, you can't overshoot your mark. I mean, you got the easiest thing in the world because
Yeah, you've got it. Just you can look, you
boom,
can see
and then-
down. Yeah, you
Well,
can.
why? Because then they can't see that person. Oh, and then they'd understand it. And
Yeah,
and
would be.
within about
Yeah.
2 weeks, nobody was blocking.
Yeah,
the
it would be,
lens
yeah.
anymore. But I realized
You know,
nobody had ever explained it to me.
Jeez, that's nuts. I mean, that's why we should have these classes, right?
That's exactly right.
Dave and Ossie's Apples classes.
Well,
Come along and
we'll set it up after this. I think it's
Yeah.
fantastic. And
charge them a fortune.
operators will be thanking us forever. Well, listen, this was great. I'm gonna finish up here because I know you've had a long day. And I so
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Dave.
But there's so much great information. Oh, I do want to ask you one question. Batgirl. I never had this situation. What's it like to put all that work into something and know that it's never going to be seen? Is that just a kick in the teeth?
Yeah, I think for everybody,
was it a good movie?
much what. I mean, it was fun. It
Yeah.
was, it was a fun movie to be involved in. We did a lot of fun stuff, and there's a good. Brendan Fraser played the.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's in the film I'm doing at the moment actually, and
Oh, yeah.
he played the baddie in Background. He was brilliant. I mean, he's a great actor.
Great.
He's a great actor. But you feel sorry for all the people that put the hard work
It's
into
terrible,
it.
right?
It's like everybody that
Yeah.
put from every department, all that work.
And
I
it's mean, like a $90 million movie, right? It's
Yeah.
some massive amount of money, and
Yeah.
they're never going to release it.
Yeah. I mean, this is very odd. I mean, I don't ever know the real
Yeah.
reasons
Anyway, I
why.
just figured I'd
But
ask because I've never had anything like that. Hopefully, I never will.
yeah, well, I hope.
To
Yeah,
put all that work into something and then not be
it's
able
like-
to,
yeah.
sure.
No one ever sees it. It's
Yeah.
mad. It's nuts.
Well, like I was saying, thank you
Yeah.
so much. There's great stuff
You're
in here. I'm
welcome.
going to leave you with the question that I leave everybody with, which is advice for someone starting out today on how to succeed, or what you wish you knew back then that you know now.
Gosh, that's a good question.
no
How
right
did you
answer.
think of that? There's
Yeah.
no right answer. Yeah, there's no right answer. Good. How to succeed?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Or what do you need to know to succeed?
You can't give up. One thing. It's when you fail, or you don't get a job, or you don't get a call, or it's very easy to feel down in this business. It happens a lot, especially when you're starting out. So you can't give up. You have to keep pushing. You've got to make these horrible calls or emails, and God, make yourself do it, even though it makes your toes curl, probably. I think you have to be nice is a big thing.
Mhm.
Conscientious, hardworking, attentive. A lot of the stuff we've discussed, all these things we've discussed already. But watching and learning, I mean, you can learn so much if you get yourself onto a set by how all the dynamics and people's roles and how they all interact. I think you can learn a lot from just watching. You don't necessarily, you get yourself on the job as a runner or trainee, and once you know what you're doing there, you can watch what's going on and speak to the other guys and look at what they're doing. Like we're saying, once you feel comfortable with what you're doing, you can look at the other stuff that's going on and learn from that. But how to succeed? Yeah, you just need to not give up and have an open mind. Don't take things too personally. There's a lot of big personalities out there. Not all of them nice. So you sometimes just have to go with the flow. And your job is to serve. Is to serve, and even if it's an idea that you think maybe isn't that great, you still have to give it everything you've got to execute it the best you can, because that's your job. You're getting paid to serve the DP and the director and the production. So sometimes you just got to suck it up and get on with it. Do what you have to do. But don't give up. But be nice, I think, be nice to people. I don't see any reason to be any other way, no matter what's going on.
I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. We'll be back soon with another great episode. Don't forget to check us out on theop.io for all sorts of information on operating and storytelling. So thanks for listening and have a great day.